The word nurse holds a deep and beautiful meaning. It comes from the Latin word nutrire. This word means to nourish, to cherish, to protect. In its earliest form, it describes someone who cared for the young. A nurse was a person who fed a child and nurtured a child. They provided sustenance and comfort. This simple, powerful act of caring is the very foundation of nursing. Over centuries, this meaning grew and expanded. It began to include anyone who cared for the sick, the weak, the vulnerable. Nursing is about nourishing life in all its forms. Initially, nursing was not a formal job. It was a natural human response. The instinct to help someone in pain and the compassion of family or neighbors. Women were the primary caregivers in homes and communities. They learned herbal remedies and healing practices, passed down through generations. They were the first nurses, long before the title existed. Their care was a vital thread in the fabric of early societies. When someone fell ill or was injured, others would step in to help. They would bring food, water. They would clean wounds and offer comfort. As societies became more complex, so did the need for organized care. Religious organizations were among the first to step into this role. They saw caring for the sick as a spiritual duty. It was a way to express their faith and serve God. Many ancient religions linked healing with divinity. Temples often served as the first places of healing. Priests, priestesses, they used prayers, rituals, early forms of medicine. This blend of the spiritual and the physical was a powerful force. It provided comfort and hope to those who were suffering. In the early Christian era, this connection became even stronger. The teachings of Jesus emphasized compassion service to others. Caring for the sick, the poor, the marginalized was seen as a sacred obligation. Women in the early church played a crucial role in this mission. They formed groups dedicated to charitable work. These women were often called deaconesses. They visited the sick in their homes. In the history of nursing, one name from the early Christian era stands out. Her name was Phoebe. She is mentioned by the Apostle Paul in the New Testament. In his letter to the Romans, Paul refers to Phoebe as a deaconess of the church at Cenchreae. He also calls her a helper of many and of himself. This simple description tells us so much about her role. As a deaconess, she was a woman in a position of service within the church. She was entrusted with important duties. One of her primary responsibilities was caring for the members of her community. Phoebe is widely regarded as the first visiting nurse. Her work involved traveling to the homes of the sick and needy. She was not confined to a single building or temple. She went out into the community to find those who needed help. This is a model that visiting nurses still follow today. She would have provided practical assistance, bringing food, cleaning, attending to basic physical needs. She also would have offered spiritual comfort. As the need for care grew, dedicated places for healing began to emerge. These were the first hospitals. The word hospital comes from the Latin word hospice, which means guest. Early hospitals were often called hospices. They were places of hospitality for travelers. They were places of hospitality for the poor. They were places of hospitality for the sick. The church was instrumental in creating these institutions. They were seen as a physical expression of the Christian duty to care for the vulnerable. These early hospitals were more than just places for medical treatment. They were sanctuaries of care and compassion. One of the most remarkable early examples was founded in Mérida, Spain. Around the year 580 AD, a hospital was established by Bishop Masona. It was designed to be a place where anyone in need could find help. Monasteries across Europe also became vital centers of healing. During the early Middle Ages, medical knowledge from the ancient world was preserved within monastery walls. Monks carefully copied ancient medical texts. They cultivated gardens with medicinal herbs. Many monasteries had an infirmary, a special section for caring for sick monks. These infirmaries often expanded to care for people from the surrounding communities as well. The monks became skilled caregivers. The nuns became skilled caregivers. They combined their spiritual devotion with practical knowledge of healing. The care provided in these monastic hospitals was holistic. The work done in these early hospitals and monasteries built the very foundation of institutional nursing. While hospitals and monasteries were important centers of care, much of nursing still happened in the home. Not everyone could get to a hospital, and, honestly, many preferred to be cared for in familiar surroundings. This created a continuing need for nurses who could make house calls. These community caregivers were essential. They brought medical aid and comfort directly to the people. This type of nursing required great skill and independence. Religious orders often specialized in this kind of outreach. The Sisters of Charity, founded by Saint Vincent de Paul in the 17th century, were pioneers in this field. They were not confined to a convent. Their mission was to go out into the streets and homes of the poor. They were the first non-cloistered order of women dedicated to serving the needy. They visited the sick, cared for orphaned children, and helped families in crisis. These visiting nurses provided a wide range of services. They would clean and dress wounds, administer herbal remedies, and ensure the patient was clean and comfortable. Just as importantly, they provided emotional and spiritual support. A visit from a nurse could be a lifeline for an isolated person or a struggling family. The 1800s were a period of dramatic transformation. The Industrial Revolution led to massive population growth in cities. People crowded into urban areas, often living in unsanitary conditions. This created new and overwhelming public health challenges. Diseases like cholera, typhoid, and tuberculosis spread rapidly through overcrowded neighborhoods. At the same time, scientific knowledge was advancing. This period is sometimes called the Dark Age of Nursing. As the United States grew as a new nation, it faced its own healthcare challenges. An important figure in this story is Saint Elizabeth Ann Seton, known as Mother Seton. In the early 1800s, she brought a powerful European nursing tradition to America. After being widowed, she converted to Catholicism and felt a strong calling to serve others through education and charity. In 1809, Mother Seton founded the Sisters of Charity of St. Joseph's in Emmitsburg, Maryland. This was the first community of religious women founded in the United States. Following the model of their French counterparts, the sisters dedicated themselves to caring for the poor, the sick, the orphaned. They started schools, orphanages, but their work soon expanded to include healthcare. The Sisters of Charity quickly earned a reputation for their skilled and compassionate nursing care. During the American Civil War, they served as nurses for both armies, earning the name Angels of the Battlefield. Mother Seton's legacy is immense, laying a crucial part of the foundation upon which modern nursing would be built. No history of nursing is complete without the story of Florence Nightingale. She is the most famous figure in our profession and is rightfully credited as the founder of modern nursing. Born into a wealthy British family in 1820, Nightingale felt a strong calling from God to become a nurse. This was a shocking choice for a woman of her social class at the time. Her family strongly opposed it. But Florence was determined. She educated herself in science, mathematics, and public health. She visited hospitals across Europe, studying their methods and observing what worked and what did not. Her defining moment came during the Crimean War in the 1850s. British soldiers were dying in huge numbers, not just from battle wounds, but from diseases in filthy, overcrowded military hospitals. The public in Britain was outraged. Florence Nightingale was asked to lead a team of 38 nurses to the military hospital at Scutari. When she arrived, she was horrified by the conditions. The hospital was infested with rats, lacked basic supplies, and sat on top of a giant sewer. She immediately went to work, demanding sanitation, nutrition, and organization. At night, she would walk the wards with a lamp, checking on her patients. This earned her the enduring nickname, the Lady with the Lamp. Her efforts had a dramatic effect. The death rate in the hospital plummeted. In 1860, she established the Nightingale Training School for Nurses at St. Thomas's Hospital in London. This was the world's first professional nursing school. Florence Nightingale transformed nursing from a low-status job into a noble and respected profession. Her legacy lives on in every nurse who combines compassion with scientific knowledge to provide the finest care.